People are going to focus on this Bills game and sort of forget that there was a heartbreak in Houston today too.
Oh, brutal.
Matt Amendola is their backup kicker, right? Like Kaimi Fairburn, he's been out with an injury, so they bring Matt Amendola in off the street. He misses one like 50-plus yarder. And then the second one, I think if you weren't watching the games, you won't see this. It's right down the middle. Perfect kick. And then the very last spot on the crossbar it could possibly hit without bouncing in, it hits and just deflects off. Like you could see it on CJ Stroud's face, right? He saw it and thought for sure it was going in, and then saw it fall just short and looked like he was about to cry.
You could see everyone in Houston when they were showing the replays, and even us at home, we're watching that replay. Zach and I are rooting for the Texans at this point. And he kicks it, and you're like, all right, he's got it, but does it have the distance? And then you hear that boom, and it was, at first I thought it may have bounced up and in, but you see it just hit the ground, and it was like, oh my gosh. But
when you talk about a game of inches, boy, that was 6 inches.
CJ Stroud had a few throws today too.
Boy howdy, we've been waiting for.
Yeah, there's the boy howdy. He had that 65-yard bomb to Tank Dell that got called back, and I was about to text the chat and just say, holy crap, look at that throw from Stroud right there. He still is doing things during games where I just lean back and go, wow, he's like on Trevor Lawrence level. He's on elite quarterback level right now. And you still saw some inexperienced moments. Like on that last drive, there are a couple plays there where you just can't take the sacks that he took. And it's just unacceptable in those moments. Yeah, it was tough to get out of the situations. But one thing that really impressed me was they had the 2nd and 25 on their game-tying drive, or attempting the game-tying drive. And a lot of teams in the NFL, like if you have the Jets or the Browns, 2nd and 25 ends your drive. You're done. And they looked more like the Chiefs, where 2nd and 25, okay, no big deal. Let's pick up 15, pick up 10, we're moving the sticks. Like their offense is cooking. And on defense, I love Will Anderson. I love watching him play. I believe in the Houston Texans defense with DeMeco Ryans. I think given the schedule that they have going forward, and it is lighter than Jacksonville's, they got Denver, the Jets, the Titans, the Browns, the Titans, and the Colts. I like Houston to get in the playoffs. Not sure if they'll win on the road against a team like Miami. Maybe if they play Jacksonville again, that's a tough game. But I like them to get to the playoffs, and you don't want to play this team, even though they're young, you don't want them in the first round.
No, certainly not. CJ Stroud just became the first rookie quarterback in NFL history to throw for 300 yards in 4 consecutive games. When he's on, and he's always on. I will say a player who I haven't seen getting much attention, which is kind of strange, Derek Stingley Jr. I know people are talking about him being a bust, or like he had those injuries and it was tough, but he's now got interceptions in back-to-back games. So he's a player in addition to Will Anderson, who's obviously very good to watch out for on that defense. There's so many players on this team that are finding ways to contribute week in, week out. Right?
They might be obviously the most fun team to root for in the NFL right now, for any fan base.
Yeah, how many people are either like having unexpected career booms or revivals? Like Devin Singletary came from Buffalo and is now a major contributor to this team.
Oh, I agree. I'm watching Singletary today, and I looked over at Zach and I said, holy crap, he's playing unbelievable right now. It's Singletary, Noah Brown, Nico Collins. Tank Dell has been insane. A couple of his catches are just crazy every single week, it seems. I don't know if there's a team I'd rather be a fan of right now than the Houston Texans, both for this season and moving forward.
And there's going to be some great games for the Texans coming up to watch, because you talk about that last seed in the AFC playoff picture.
Yep.
There are 3 teams tied at 6-5. The Texans, the Broncos, and the Colts. Texans play the Broncos. They play the Colts. They also play the Browns.
Yeah.
So they're going to be playing a lot of those teams that are in that bubble playoff picture. So they really get to decide their own destiny from here.
And you get that Denver game at home. You get the Cleveland game at home. You do go to Indy at the end of the year. But to be able to control your fate, like they do, and get 2 of those 3 games in Houston is a big deal, especially because I think if you could pick 2 of the 3 to be at home, you would want Denver, you would want Cleveland, and you choose to go on the road to Indianapolis, which is always going to be tough as a division game no matter what. So I like where Houston is at right now. I think they're better than Denver. I think they're better than Cleveland. I think they're better than Pittsburgh. So they're in a good spot, even though today was a really tough pill to swallow. It's just, Jacksonville showed up today.
I mean, you told the Texans at the start of the season that week 11 they're going to have split with the Jaguars and to be in the playoffs.
And control their destiny.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a great season, but you can't. And I think this is what I like about the Texans team. They're not sitting back and thinking, boy, we're ahead of schedule, we can take it easy. They're coming out every week. They're playing hard. They're ignoring whatever the narratives are.
Oh, we flipped the switch. A couple weeks ago, we flipped the switch in Houston from this is a fairy tale season to, hey, let's go win a playoff game. Like, let's not just get in. Let's try and win a playoff game.
If they don't make the playoffs and they don't win a playoff game, I think they will feel disappointed.
The fan base will be okay with it. I think the fan base is hoping for the playoffs and a win right now. You have to be proud of, no matter what happens at this point, you're proud of this season. But yeah, now you're starting to be like, okay, we could be bummed out if we don't get in because you're good enough. You're actually good enough. Like, look at all these teams, right? We'll talk about the Steelers right now as well. Look at all these teams who are in the wild card spots right now. It's the Browns, the Steelers, and the Colts. I think Houston's better than all three of those teams. Do you?
Probably. I mean, how could you not say that? They've got a consistent offense and a consistent defense.
I think the Texans, Bills, and Broncos, who are all on the outside looking in, are all better than the current wild card teams, which is funny. It's just that's the way the AFC's been this year.